Back to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm right here. I keep coming in a little different. Have you noticed I'm sitting in a different place? Usually I sit on that side, so now I'm sitting on this side, and I don't know if it looks good or not. Hey, come on, let's get your comments. Do you like me on the left side, or do you like me on the right side? Because I can't be in the middle. Because if I'm in the middle, I'm going to be all by myself. And I have Kevin with me. Now, Kevin actually, he's a spokesperson. He helps business people. He's just written a book. So he's got a lot to tell me. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing well.
You
Thank
doing
you.
well?
Yes, I am.
Everything's good?
Everything's phenomenal right
Now,
now.
do you live in Vegas, or where do you live?
I actually only been in Vegas since 2004, since January 2004.
That's a long time.
So a little over 14 years.
14 years. He says only. So it's obviously treated you well, otherwise
Yes.
you wouldn't still be here.
Yes, I see Vegas is a great place for all kinds of opportunities. There's
Yeah.
so much that's going on.
And you're a
here.
coach.
Yes, I'm a business coach.
You're a business coach. Business coach means, because this is the industry, this is the entertainment industry of the world.
Yes.
At the same time, I believe it's probably the biggest convention center in the world, because all the conventions seem to come here.
Yeah.
And I think because it's Vegas, and they can entertain themselves in the evening, I guess.
Well, yes, that's one of the great things I do like about Vegas is that there's so many conventions, there's so many conferences. All the casinos have their own conference rooms. There's
Yes.
so much going on here.
Yes.
There's so much opportunity.
So how do you have an agent, or how do you work your business?
Well, I just work for myself, so I
Yes.
don't have an agent. So with my business, I just work with people that are looking to start their own business. They wanted to transition from their corporate America job to their own business. Yes.
Is that happening a lot lately? Have you in the last few years?
Yes, there's been a lot of that going on where people are wanting to. They're getting tired of working
Working
for
for someone. Yeah.
And then there's no loyalty anymore as well with the company. People can lay you off with 1 day's notice, but you have to give 2 weeks notice if you want to.
And also what I've noticed is that big companies, when it comes near retirement,
Yes.
and you're going to get all the benefits that you've paid for and you've done, and you've been a good employer, then they fire you.
Yes.
Or they dismiss you, because they say they don't like to fire you, so they'll dismiss you in a very nice cultural way, which means you're fired.
And then they hire somebody that's 20 years old that can do your job for a third of the pay.
That's right. And
Yes.
also, but also the problem with that is because the older person, I'm not saying they don't know technology, but the younger person certainly knows technology.
Yes.
And they know it better than older people, I think.
And that is true, because I know my father is a perfect example. He's 82 years old, and he's never touched a computer before. He has no idea how to turn on a
Dad,
computer.
you better start touching a computer
Yes.
out there. Believe me. Believe me. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
How do you because you've probably actually grown up as without the computer, and then the computer coming into your life. How was that transition for you?
It was interesting, because I remember back when I was in high school, we had to take typing classes, and the
Yes.
only thing that we had typewriters,
Typewriter.
and we had DOS.
That's
If
right.
y'all remember that.
Do we remember DOS? I think we do.
As older people do, unless you're a computer programmer,
Yes.
most of the younger generation have no idea what
They have
DOS
no. Well,
is.
they have no idea what we're talking about. Period. They really don't. They don't believe there was an age back there. There was something. They just don't understand that.
Yes.
So when you go in to teach a business class, or you teach somebody one-on-one, how do you explain to them? Are they normally younger people or older people?
They tend to be in their 30s or 40s, because they've already been
Really?
working for corporate America already. The 20-something-year-olds, they are almost like entrepreneurs right from the get-go,
They are.
because they have all the technology in their hands. They already know all about the Snapchats and all of these other technologies.
Now,
that-
we never had that when we were young,
No,
did we?
we did not.
Didn't have any of that.
No.
At
We-
all.
well, when I was growing up, we had only 3 TV stations. It was ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Where
and
did you live? I think I even had more than that.
Yes.
But that's true. That's exactly what it was like. And the world is so different now. Do you like it how it is now? Or?
I do. I mean, one of the great things is the cell phone. I love the accessibility, what you could do on the cell phone. But the negative is you're always connected. You're always
You're always on the cell phone.
you're always on the cell phone.
Isn't it funny? Because you can't really leave home without it. They always say that there's a great saying, you can't leave home without it. Well, you really can't leave home without your cell phone. Sometimes I forget my cell phone at home. I am so happy because I don't have to do anything. It's home, and I'm in the car, and I say goodbye, and I have a free time because I find myself, it's somewhere,
It's always within reach, even when you go to sleep at night.
Yeah, even it's right next to your bed, plugged in.
Yes.
I mean, so you don't miss anything. So this day and age, and how you feel about the whole thing progressing, what have we got to look forward to?
Well, I see that in the years ahead, there's going to be more and more entrepreneurship going on.
Okay.
I think I read in an article somewhere that by, say, 2020 or 2025, that over 50% of Americans will be self-employed. So it's a huge rise going on right now. And I mean, there's always, the big corporations are always going to need people, and there's always going to be people doing that.
Of course, you've got the big corporations and everything.
But when things happen, like myself in 1999, when I got downsized, and I got downsized in a very negative way, that at that time I swore I would never work full time for a company.
And what were you doing at that time?
I was a computer programmer for Y2K, if you remember that.
I remember Y2K. Good Lord, I hate to say I remember it, but yes, I do.
Yes.
And so you were there, and you got laid off.
I got laid off. Yes.
That's amazing.
Well, it was how I got laid off is what it was. It was I decided to go to stunt school, and this was in June 1999.
Stunt school, going into the movie industry and doing the stunts. That's what that. Yeah.
And it was a 3-week class.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well, I earned 2 weeks vacation per year.
Yes.
And I said, I'll take my 2 weeks vacation.
Of course.
And since they were paying us 2 weeks in arrears.
Oh, okay. So they owed you a month.
So therefore, I worked for 2 weeks, and I wouldn't get paid. And I work another 2 weeks, then I would get paid for the first.
Yes.
So I was 2 weeks off.
Yes.
And so I said, well, I'll take a week off as well, off of my thing. When I got back, they couldn't. I just finished one gig, and they're about to place me in another gig. And they said, well, after a few weeks, they couldn't find me another gig. And he says, well, we're going to have to lay you off. By the way, you never earned that second week of vacation because this is June, so we're taking that out of your pay that you took. And you also took a week off, so we're taking that also out of your pay. So therefore, you're fired, and you're not getting paid anything.
Well, how cool is that, huh?
So at that time,
so then you started to go into your own business as being a coach.
I started my business as a coach since I moved to Vegas. However, at that time, I did do some part-time work as a college math teacher. I did do stunt work on film. Okay. And I was also.
Oh, so you're qualified for the 3 weeks training.
Yes.
Oh, that must be pretty cool to do stunt work. I've never done that, but that must be pretty cool.
It's the most cool thing because when you pull off we call it a gag. Once you pull off a successful gag where it looks it works, but nobody's getting hurt in it, but it shows so real to the camera or to the stage.
Whatever you're doing.
And it's phenomenal. So that's why I love that experience.
So you're very talented with a lot of the things you do. You've got this book here. Yes. Now, what's this called? Designing Your Own Destiny. How cool is that?
Yes.
Nothing like, I've always said this destiny word is so strong because whatever you do in life, that creates your destiny. So whatever you do today will hang on till tonight. It'll hang on until you change something and do something. So destiny is always a very, it's kind of the end of a thought.
Right.
Or the end of a progression.
It's at the end of a progression, but are you actually actively working toward a destiny that you want, or are you just letting chance?
Most people aren't, are they?
Most people are just letting chance go by. So that's why I called it designing your own destiny. Is what is it that you want, and then let's create the pathway to get there.
Yes, because it's what you have inside, what you verbally put out there, and what you actually do out there is your destiny. So I call it the triangle.
Okay.
Mine is the triangle. It's what we have in here. We might not tell it the truth out there. We might kind of lie or fib a little bit, but then it doesn't make any difference because that's going to be your destiny. So whatever you choose to do within yourself, you cannot blame anybody else.
That is correct.
So what made you write this?
I mean, I had done so many other things that I had not even shared with the audience as of yet.
Tell me.
I did 5 years in the Navy. 4 years I was stationed in Japan on ship.
Oh, how wonderful!
So I got to saw 12 countries during those 4 years. So just being in other cultures, I just
and understanding them of how they live and what they do, because we don't all live the same.
Right, and this was in the late 1980s. So this is before cell phones. This is before all that. Now they had those big brick phones. But that's the only thing that they had at that time. Yeah. So just being immersed in other cultures without the technology that we have today. I mean, I remember at times trying to get around in Japan where I don't read the kanji, I don't read Chinese, and I have to order off something off the menu, and they don't speak English.
So what do I eat?
But nowadays you just pull out your phone, hit Google Translate, and
they translate everything for you. So what else have you done? Because you said so you were in the Navy.
I was in the Navy. I was a computer programmer. College, I went to Florida State and University of West Florida. So I studied mathematics, psychology, physics. My background is extremely varied. That's why I wrote the book, because I had so many different worlds.
I was going to say, you've got so many different worlds. Which one did you really like?
The one I would say I like the most, besides the Navy and travel, would be actually doing the stunt work.
Oh, really? Oh, goodness. Back to the stunt work.
Well, because one of the things that I learned from there was that when people say you have to be fearless, I say that's the most dangerous thing that you can have. What it is, it's all about controlling your fear.
Yes.
So if I was
paying attention.
And paying attention and being very, very aware of your surroundings.
Of what's going on and what's happening.
And let's say if I was on a film set and I also had to jump out of a 5-story window and then into an airbag, and I'm getting scared and getting nervous, and then the director yells action.
You got to action.
You got to go.
You got to go and do it. You got to go and get there and do it, because that's your job to do it.
Right.
Did you ever fail in it?
I've never failed in it. I've been hurt, but I've never been.
You don't let anybody know you got hurt.
The one movie that I got hurt on was an independent film, and I got hurt for injuries.
Oh, wow.
And what I did was, as soon as they wrapped that scene, I was the assistant stunt coordinator, so I went and found the stunt coordinator, found the set medic, and we went and hid.
Oh, wow.
Because I had stubbed my hand a few times. I had a chest injury. I had a leg injury, and I was bleeding from the side of my head.
Complete
so it's
disaster, my dear. Total disaster. But that's what you really love in life. Well, they've got a lot of that happening in Vegas, so you might want to see what's going on and get some stuff going on, because they have a lot of that going on. How can people reach you?
Well, they could just reach me by, give my website, or...
Yes, whatever you want to give.
Okay, you could just reach me online on my website, which is just my name. It's Kevin A. Dunlap. That's with an AP.com.
Yes, Dunlap.
It's KevinADunlap.com.
Wonderful. Well, you've been amazing, and
Thank you.
You're a very talented young man, and done a lot. And I think one thing I do admire him, that he doesn't stop. If he wants to do something, he'll do it. So that's why you've had so many challenges and so many, I wouldn't call them challenges, well, maybe they are challenges of succeeding in your challenge. Because you have succeeded. Yes,
and it's about taking that action. It's about moving forward with what you want.
Take action. That's the greatest thing you can do. Take action of what you do. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.